you lie awake at night? Are you afraid to turn out the lights? Is there something you're scared of? What's there out in the dark? Make sure to keep all your windows locked. Do you surrender? Try to stay awake. These walls you can't escape. Here's one for the lonely hearts, for the ones that fear the dark. You better run out of here. Bet you can't look the other way. Here's one for the broken road. That's the only one you know. You better run out, truth or dare. Get me out, take me anywhere but here. Oh, anywhere but here. Do you lie awake at night? Are you afraid to turn out the lights? Is there something you're scared of? What's there out in the dark? Make sure to keep all your windows locked. Do you surrender?
Hello and welcome to PHP Alive and Kicking, brought to you by PHP Architect and made better by our partners at PHP Score. More about them later. This is the podcast that explores the latest developments in PHP and what it's like to earn a living in PHP today. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Page, and I'm a developer at PHP Architect. And my co-host is a long-time contributor to our magazine and a fellow team member, Chris Miller.
Hey Mike, how you doing?
I cannot say contributor today.
It's normally developer, so we're making.
I know. We're making progress. Today we are live, so please jump into our Discord channel if you have any questions for ourselves or our guests today. We'd love to see people interacting in there. It's not just for the live stream. You can hang out all week. There are all sorts of people in there. There's core developers of PHP in there. There's package maintainers. And well, whatever you can think of, any type of developer you can think of, they're in there. So please do come and join us over there. If you're watching us over on our YouTube channel, please do like and subscribe. That word. If you're not listening to this in YouTube, do head over to our YouTube channel and check us out there. That is youtube.com/@PHPArch. As I mentioned, we also publish a magazine, a monthly magazine dedicated to PHP and all things related to web development. We have a discount code for our lovely listeners. Alive3 will give you the first 3 months of a digital subscription, free, that is. We also run an annual conference called PHP Tech. That is going to be in May of next year over in Chicago. The call for papers is now officially closed, and we are now going through the sorting of those talks. However, it was announced on Thursday on the main podcast that we're going to run another conference alongside PHP Tech called JS Tech. So the call for papers is now open for JS Tech. Anything to do with JavaScript. Chris is obviously struggling to get the link up on the screen there. Can't find it. So please submit your talks. That'll be great to see people over there. Sorry?
Completely hot off the press. I don't think you even know yet, Mike. The JS Tech website's up.
No, that's what I saw just as we were going live. Yes, John has just announced. If you're in our Discord, you'll see that the website for that conference is now. Is it a separate conference or is it just another track? I think Eric and John are saying it's a separate conference.
They're saying a separate conference at the same conference venue.
Yes, alongside PHP. Yeah. So what's going to happen with PHP developers and JS developers mixing?
Probably the same thing that happens daily.
Anyway, moving on. Swag store. We have a swag store where you can get yourself some t-shirts and mugs, caps, cups, all sorts of things are in there. Do take a look at what we've got going on in there. And I think that is all the things ticked. So I think it's over to you, Chris, to introduce this evening's, or today's, I should say, because it's not evening for everyone, but today's guest.
So today we have Bert de Swaef. He is a YouTuber, entrepreneur, sportsman. He does talks. Bert, is there anything you don't do?
I don't do drugs, but yeah.
Good answer.
Well, yeah. Well, good evening, guys. It's evening for me as well, so happy to join.
So, Bert, you're restreaming to our channels, which is to your channels rather, which is absolutely brilliant. So,
yeah,
you have your own YouTube channel, and if I could find the right button, we can even share that. So, Bert has his own channel at youtube.com/@codewithbert.
correct.
Now, Bert is spelt with a U there because people can't say your name correctly. So how should it be said?
Well, it's normally in Flemish, it's Bert, but yeah, everyone calls me Bert or something like that. Then they completely butcher my name, so I used an U instead of an E in my name for my public appearance. So to make it easy for everyone.
Cool. So if you've been watching any of these, you'll know what our first question is because we ask everybody the same question.
Yes. Yeah, well, your first question would be, how did I get in touch with PHP?
Yes.
How
Sorry, everyone, we lost Chris's audio over there for a second. So yes,
yeah.
How did you get into PHP?
Well, I wasn't always a developer. I graduated as an electrician, and out of the blue, I entered a university to check out what's going on, what can I do beyond electricity, and they were teaching Flash back in the day, and I was triggered by animations and stuff like that, and said like, "Yo, I want to try this," and it was during that university college thing that I got in touch with PHP for the first time, and it made sense to me from the get-go. So, and that's how I got into PHP in university. And when I graduated from there, I started using it to make my own business. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Awesome. Can you now hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Good.
Welcome.
My mic decided it was going to turn itself off just as I asked the question.
So did you start your own business straight out of college?
Well, I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, so I didn't work for anyone. I just started out with my own company. I was already doing electrician stuff, like installing solar modules, home electricity stuff, industrial a little bit, and I got asked the question, "Hey, can you code a website for me?" And I did that as a first client. I got a second client, and that's how I started out as a developer, basically, and quit it. I eventually quit the electricity stuff and became a full-time developer. And now I actually combine that again with electricity to create stuff that communicates with charging devices, solar modules, batteries, and stuff like that. So yeah, the circle is full for me.
Awesome. That's quite a unique story to just literally go, "Hey, I'm going to start a business." There's not many people that will choose to do that, but I guess coming from a family that sort of guided you down that path naturally, that you have people around you that were doing that, so it was just natural progression for you.
Yeah, it basically was a no-brainer. It was like, yeah, somebody needs my services, so let me just create a price for that and knock on the second door and third door, and by the end of the day, you end up with too many projects, and you need to hire someone. And yeah, that was by accident, and that's how Vilpo was created back in the day. So started out small as a hobby, and it basically exploded into a company.
That's awesome. I mean,
Mm.
I think that's probably where I went wrong in the early days. When I first started, I wanted to build that mysterious portfolio that we all apparently need, and I was doing things for basically nothing, or as good as nothing,
Yeah.
barely charging people, and I got lots and lots of work and no money, which is not a good combination.
Yeah. I hear the story multiple times. Even now, when people start out, they reach out saying, "Hey, I want to just write code. I don't need to get paid. I want to learn." But to be honest, that's not how the world works. Everyone that works needs to be paid eventually. So, yeah, that's the honest truth, actually.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
your first clients then were people that you already knew. How did you go beyond those first couple of people?
Well, basically they contacted us via those clients. So it's how do you say it in English? From hearsay, I
Mm.
think is the correct word. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it was completely referred by those clients I did
Mhm.
first, and then the second wave of their network. And yeah, everyone has a big network, especially in the if they have some business, they have colleagues or even other suppliers that need a website or something.
Mm.
And it just grew organically from that. So yeah, and we started out with just regular websites. I think WordPress wasn't still that hot in the day, so it was all just tables and stuff like that, and just basic HTML.
Oh, I remember the days of building websites with tables.
Yeah,
And
those were the good days.
I'm still seeking counselling. Um,
I don't remember those days, but we.
Mike is not old enough to remember the marquee tag.
No.
Okay.
I'm old enough. However, I wasn't in the industry long enough.
Fair, yes.
I'm certainly old enough to know. No, I didn't venture into development until around sort of 2019, 2020 is when it
Okay.
got serious for me, and I got my first full-time role at the end of 2020. So I'm still quite a baby compared to you guys when it comes to development.
I've only got a couple of decades on you.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
So, Bert, one of the reasons that we brought you on, I don't know if you remember, but about 4 weeks ago, Dan Noons, he posts regularly the PHP top 10, and
Yeah.
you got a gold first place on that, which we are desperately
Yeah.
seeking to get.
I saw that.
But
Yeah.
you got the gold on that weekly top 10 for building a real-time game in PHP.
Correct.
What the
Yeah.
heck possessed you to build a real-time game in PHP?
Well, to be honest, I created that like a year or 3 ago, but completely in JavaScript, just because
Mm.
one of the tiles of the game was missing for some reason, and my kid was like crying all day because it was a Sunday, so no store was open. So I just recreated that in JavaScript, and it was before the vibe coding era, so it was just completely by hand. And he ended up playing on the iPad the rest of the day, and we survived the weekend because of that. um, and a few weeks ago, he said to me, "Hey, you remember that game you built for me in on the iPad? I want to play that again, but I want to play that against you." Instead of switching around the iPad, he wanted me to play on my laptop and he on his iPad. And I was like, "Oh, how do I go about with that?" And I am a big fan of Laravel. That's a public secret that I'm a big fan of Laravel. But I'm also a big fan of WebSockets, and especially Reverb is one of my favorite things out there at the moment. I've been working with WebSockets for many years in the charging station industry. So I just tried to combine those two and basically rewrote that application in Livewire and then put Reverb on top of that, and it for some reason it worked. So we're now playing from time to time, me on my laptop and he in the couch on his iPad. And to be honest, the kid beats me. So yeah. So it works, and I created a video about that, and well, Dan picked that up. It's not the first time that Dan picks something up that I post, but it was the first gold, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really grateful because him putting out those top tens really helps, like for the reach of everyone that has been introduced into his lists. So it's kind of awesome that he does that every week. So yeah,
Absolutely. And I don't think he actually realizes quite how much influence that post has from different conversations I've had with him. For your benefit, Bert, Dan actually was my employer previously.
Okay.
So I've known Dan for years. And he tweeting and posting these things on LinkedIn. I don't think he realizes just how much impact it has for people.
Yeah. The same thing with when I started out with YouTube, Povilas, who you will always who everyone knows as the godfather of the YouTube channels in PHP landscape, he retweeted one of my videos, and that impacted in like 500 subscribers in one day. It's amazing how much impact that has. And the same thing with, I'm good buddies with Freek van der Herten from Spatie. If he retweets something, it's the amount of reach that gets. It's mind blowing. Yeah,
It's mental, isn't it?
yeah.
Going
So
back a good
whenever
couple
I retweet something of other people, I really hope that it has the same impact that other people has on my content. So yeah.
Going back a couple of years ago, I was doing a series of tweets on the history of computing and how we got from Ada Lovelace all the way through, and it was picked up by Freak, and he retweeted one of them, and that one alone got over 10,000 likes because of it.
That's crazy. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
mental when that happens.
Yeah. I think this is a good point to just hear from our partners, and we'll be right back in a few moments.
Yep.
Thank you to our partners at phpscore.com. Every app builds up technical debt over time. It's the price we pay for shipping new features and moving fast. When we build up too much of it, though, it can start to impact how we work. Team velocity suffers, bugs become more frequent and take longer to fix, and everyone starts to get a little frustrated. The key to managing debt is to measure it. A credit score can help you understand how well you're managing your financial debt, and now there's a credit score for your technical debt. Go to phpscore.com to get a free technical debt score and monitoring for all of your PHP applications today.
Thank you, PHP Score. We will sort out our timings on those one day. We'll get it right.
We probably won't. I mean, we've had 11 episodes so far.
No, we won't get it right. So I want to just go back a little bit of just what we were talking about just before we went to our partners, and I think it's really important. So it's one of the things we're trying to promote within this this show about the community within PHP, and it shows that how important it is to try and pull people up. So if you're one of the creators out there that gets crazy views or is quite popular and people know, it's really nice when they do highlight some other people that are sort of lower down the rung of content creation, and it just helps so much. And as Chris was saying, I don't think they always realize how much it does help, not just the creators, with Dan in particular pointing out some really good content out there that people can go and learn from. So
yeah. The same thing with I meet a lot of those guys at conferences, and we're all just humans with flesh and blood. And they're some of them are so humble as well. Mostly all of them, of course. But yeah, they don't realize how much impact they have on people's lives.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I was in India last year, and the impact that people have on the guys, their lives over there, is so huge.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
it's only when they express their gratitude that you feel the impact. The same thing with me. People just thanked me for my content back there. In Europe, that never happens, but there they really express their gratitude for
Mm.
putting stuff out there, the retweeting of stuff. So yeah, it's very nice to see that.
Yeah, and it works both ways as well. Of course, there's some amazing content coming out from Indian
Yeah,
YouTubers. Panayapal, for example,
yeah,
some of the stuff that he's posting.
he is awesome as well.
Mm.
I had a chance to meet him in India. I did a small live stream with him as well, and we just text now from now and then. He's a really nice person as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's one of the important parts is that most of the people in the PHP world are just nice people.
yeah,
And
yeah. They are.
as with any community, you do get the odd bad person, but it doesn't take long for the community to go, "Hey, that's not on."
Yeah, correct.
Mm.
And that's this. I've been in other communities as well, and the PHP community and the Laravel community in particular, we help each other tremendously. It's
Mm.
amazing to see the support that we give and receive towards each other. Um, yeah, so it's really nice. Other communities can learn from that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So going back to the game video, one of the choices that you made was reverb for WebSockets. Now, this sort of opens up the whole concept of real-time PHP.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have this opinion that PHP can't do that. What do you think packages like reverb do for PHP's reputation?
Um, I'm yeah, but for the reputation of PHP, it's really good because we now can do indeed real time stuff with WebSockets. I have been using WebSockets in PHP for years, communicating between server and charging stations in real time with PHP, and we used Ratchet for that, which is a package for WebSockets as well. But Reverb made it so easy for PHP developers to implement that with a server in the application itself. And now we can also use Echo on the front end. So the Alpine.js part and even React and Vue with on Echo and stuff like that to communicate between a Vue, a React, an Alpine front end, and a Laravel backend without any technical complexity. Um, in Under the hood, it's still quite complex. It's using React PHP, but it is made so simple for all the developers out there. And together with deploying that on Forge, now it's available on cloud as well. It's so easy to set it up. And that is a really a game changer for not only Laravel but PHP in general.
Hmm.
Mm.
And I think it's not just WebSockets; it's all of the other stuff that goes around that brings us to more and more to real-time
Yeah,
language. I mean,
yeah.
you have that old concept that Node is the one that's reserved for fast real-time communication.
Yeah, and I think that was true a while ago, some years ago. But I think now with all the concepts that we have, like indeed with WebSockets with Reverb, where we have also still stuff like polling, conditional polling. We have uh, we can do microservices as well with PHP. We can do a lot of stuff now that brings PHP back in the game for big applications, small applications, and also the real time stuff. So yeah, I truly believe that Laravel, in particular with Reverb, gave that little push that was needed to um, keep that momentum going and to put it out there to the non-PHP developers, like, hey, we can do this. You don't need JavaScript and Node and all complexity. We can do this in PHP right now. So yeah.
So you use Livewire in the building process of this.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
one of the questions that I get asked occasionally is to describe the mental model of Livewire. I haven't got an answer for that when you compare it to something like React and Vue. Have you?
Yeah. I'm not that huge. How should I put this? I'm not that good at JavaScript. So whenever I can stay in my PHP landscape, I really like doing that. And I know under the hood it's also JavaScript, which is communicating front end, back end. But Livewire makes it possible for me as a pure PHP developer to also create front end applications that have the same reactivity as my mic is like. There we go. Yes, we're back. That really helps me to create stuff out there that is also reactive and does everything that a normal JavaScript frontend would do without touching any JavaScript stuff. And that's why I love using Livewire.
So I guess the key there is it keeps you in the same language. And
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's quite incredible to think that, even 5 years ago, we couldn't have done front end, back end, mobile, desktop, CLI, basically everything.
All in one language, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest, at Vulpo, we do use React, we do use Vue, we do use other stuff as well. But for me, I'm in charge of all backend related stuff, all automating stuff, all jobs and queues. So I do not touch any of the front ends. So yeah, that's why I truly love PHP. And my colleagues are using Vue and React as well. So it's possible, but not for me.
See, that's when people know I'm a back-end developer, when they see me do front-end work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to admit, I try and avoid writing JavaScript as much as possible. I'll especially if I'm in a Laravel app, it's Livewire. Although I have just done a recent personal project where I basically got AI to do all of the JavaScript.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my colleagues basically, when I create a project for myself, my colleagues do the JavaScript part and they redo what I did, basically. So yeah, I used to do JavaScript in just vanilla JavaScript, like get document by element ID and stuff like that. But nowadays it's more than that. Same with CSS, by the way. I left CSS whenever Less and Sass came out. So whenever we started nesting stuff, it was too much for me. But if I see what we can do now with pure CSS, just not Tailwind and stuff like that, but pure CSS, like scroll-driven animation and stuff like that. Yeah, it's amazing. 10 years ago, we never would have been imagining what's possible right now. So yeah.
It is quite incredible just how far development has come overall. But then the key things of the big three, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, those have taken leaps and bounds. And let's be honest, you can build a website with CSS and HTML, and you don't actually need JavaScript for building a website unless you want to send something to the back end.
Yeah, correct. Well, a good friend of mine, Bramus, who is a developer relations at Google, we worked together for years, and he is basically in charge of the CSS spec at the moment. He is not him only, but he is in the team that goes over all the specification. And he was on the project for scroll-driven animations and stuff like that, and the has selector. What we can do right now, indeed, we don't need JavaScript for the normal websites. We can do all the cool stuff just purely in CSS as well. Another friend of mine is going around the world giving presentations about CSS, just making Pokemon balls that pop open and do stuff, just pure CSS, and it's magical for me to see that. I can't imagine doing that myself, but yeah, it's amazing what they can do right now.
I mean, let's be honest, he could draw a circle and that would impress me. And that's the level of CSS I can do.
Yeah.
So going back to Volpo,
Yeah.
with Volpo, would you say that the stack that you used for your tooling, your testing, that kind of thing, is that pretty close to what you used to build the game, or do you use something different?
Well, the stack that we use in our projects at Vulpo depend on the project. But let's say 70% is Livewire at the moment, what we do. For testing, it's Best PHP by Nuno. Linting, we do use Pint. For tooling, we do use Herd on our local machines, and I am a big fan of Ray by Spasi. Because not only because he's a good friend of mine, but I really like how the application works. And for uptime monitoring as well, we use Odier. Some say, yeah, you should use Nightwatch or you should use Sentry or something like that for that. But we combine that with Flare. Also because it's Belgian, it's from where I live. So I try to support the local stuff as well. So yeah, that's about the tooling that we use. And I use PHP Storm as an editor. So yeah.
So pretty much the Laravel stack.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, I tried other stuff as well. I started off with Notepad, went to Sublime Text, then VS Code, and now I'm in PHP Storm. So,
yeah. But have you tried the best editor?
I've seen a lot of them. I have a colleague who is switching every week to new editors, but yeah. But I'm curious right now.
But I'm surprised you don't know the fact that I've asked you if you use the best editor. It's NeoVim.
Yeah. Oh, I tried, but I failed. It's so
Could
hard.
You exit it?
Yeah. I have a sledgehammer. Yeah. No, it's really amazing. I've worked with a few people that are really powerful at NeoVim, but it's not for me. I need to be able to scroll sometimes and click. But yeah, it's amazing what people can do with that. Yeah, my camera is like blurring sometimes. I don't know why. I'm very sorry for that, boys.
Don't worry.
That's okay. So I use PHP Storm as well, but I actually use Vim bindings. Okay. So I still move around using a lot of the stuff that I do is Vim. There's so much more I can tap into. I strive to not have to use a mouse one day for everything, but I'm not quite there yet. So it's a bit more tweaking to get there. But yeah, so I'm like kind of in between the two of you. I mean, I used NeoVim for a good couple of years. I started getting on really well with it, and then it used to just sort of stop working, and then I stopped using it, and then I tried to load it up the other day, and like so many plugins that are out of date and things. I'm just like, I think I'm gonna have to nuke this and start again if I'm gonna actually use this. But yeah, I've landed kind of in the middle.
Yeah. Well, I would love to be able to, but at this moment, it would take me too much time to learn it, and that's time I don't have, unfortunately. So,
well, an interesting approach that I kind of took, because I'm the same. It's like I don't have time to learn all these key bindings, but if you set it up in PHP Storm, you can just have, for example, just the HJKL navigation.
Yeah.
And then the insert and so just you can start off with real basic bindings to start with, and then start adding new ones as you go. I just stopped adding new ones when I was finding I was reaching for the mouse. So I just got to the point where I'm going to have to do a lot of research to work out how to do this without having to reach for the mouse, and I just stopped doing it then. But I might take it back up again.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how my setup is right now. But maybe I'll try it one day. But I'm a big fan of like the minimalistic style. So I have everything cleared out, on top, right, left, everywhere. Everything is gone. Big line hiding, big text, to see what I'm doing. And I use white mode more than dark mode right now. So maybe it's my age. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm more of a dark mode. I pretty much everything's dark mode for me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much convinced that my monitor doesn't know what white is.
Well, except for recording videos, it looks better in dark mode. So that's why I use dark mode from time to time. But for work, it's white mode. Light mode. Yeah.
And I think that is actually a perfect example of what we were talking about earlier, that we've got three completely different opinions on a choice of editor.
Yeah.
And that choice is what makes it so good. That, I love NeoVim, but I'm never going to force somebody to go and use it just because I happen to like it.
No, sure.
And I've also used PHP Storm and still occasionally fall back to PHP Storm when I don't know how to do something in NeoVim.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice, right? You can just, and that's the cool part with not only PHP, by the way, and everything in our industry and tech. Whatever works. If it works for you, it's fine. It doesn't matter. We're not going to force anyone to use some kind of editor that someone else likes or something like that. But I do hear companies that really enforce, like, hey, you should use only this editor. I don't agree with that. At Vilpo, I think we're with 7 now, so and I think we have 4 different editors. So if the linting is the same by the end of the day in the GitHub repositories, I'm happy. It doesn't matter how they create it. If it's all perfectly linted in our GitHub workflows, it's fine for me.
And that variety and choice means that you're also opening up a whole world of people that you wouldn't otherwise attract,
Correct.
If you're advertising a job and say, we only use PHP Storm or we only use NeoVim, you're going to alienate the other group of people that don't use that.
Well, they do need to use PHP, but I
mean, PHP, yes, but PHP Storm, maybe not so much.
No.
I think with our teammates, I think we've got a variety of different editors that are used. Like
I know that we've got NeoVim with me and Eric. I know that we've got PHP Storm with a couple of the others.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've seen a couple of people using VS Code, and I half want to say that one of our colleagues uses Sublime Text.
I've got a funny feeling I was going to say Sublime. If any of our colleagues are watching live, chat. Let us know what you're using. So moving on, where are we up to with our questions? I'm just scanning them now. So you've gone out of order again, so I get lost.
We're only one out of order.
That's enough for me to get confused.
So we pre-program these questions, and then I change it on the fly and completely confuse Mike just to see how quick it happens. So the one that we're missing, Mike, is number 8.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking you haven't asked that question yet.
So Joe uses PHP Storm.
Okay.
That's the one I thought would use Sublime, so I was wrong.
To be honest, I thought he used Sublime as well.
We got that wrong. Okay, so none of us use Sublime, then maybe it's all...
I'm
I
half
did my
expecting John to say he uses Sublime now.
I did my fair part with Sublime. I think I used it for 3 years. Yeah.
I've never tried Sublime. I will admit I've not tried Sublime before, so I don't know. I don't know what that's like. I did when I very first started learning. I was using Notepad++, because that's what the book told me to use. That I picked up,
Yeah.
to learn how to write a web page. And then because I started looking at C#, because I wanted to do more sort of game development. I went into VS Code. Then from VS Code, I went to NeoVim. I actually followed Jess Archer's course on Laracast, how to set up NeoVim for PHP. Absolutely amazing. And that's what I have to go and redo at some point to understand how all that works. I can't remember now. And then it was probably about 3 years ago I moved over to PHP Storm.
Okay. Yeah, I remember I started that Laracast thing of Jess, but I'd never finished it. I should do it again.
99% of it still works exactly like she says in that. There's the odd 1 or 2 bits that don't work quite that way anymore, but the key bindings are all there and all valid.
Yeah,
it's little tiny things.
I'll have to, Chris, you're gonna have to help me fix mine. Because that is basically that setup. There's a few little tweaks I made that were more personal to myself, that I thought would work better for me. But yeah, I jumped into it about a week ago, tried to edit some of my dot file stuff, and it just broke and didn't work at all. And I tried to fix it, and I got nowhere. I got so confused. So yeah.
So we have an actual PhD telling us that Sublime was used until 2 or 3 years ago. So, and we're literally seeing it even in the people listening and watching, that we've got editors out there of different types.
Yeah. I'm curious, are there any people in the chat suggesting something we didn't touch?
Not yet. No,
not yet.
So
I'm
the
surprised we haven't had a VS Code thrown in there yet.
So yeah, we just got PHP Storm and Sublime at the moment. People are saying,
okay,
but none of these are wrong. As we said, it's what works for you. Yeah. It's whatever definitely what works for you. So we're going to go back to question 8. Are you going to ask question 8, Chris?
Would you like me to ask about database normalization?
You go for that one.
Okay. So in your game that you built, you chose to use JSON rather than normalized databases. Now, I'm old school and will shout at people for not normalizing databases, but I also get JSON. So what was the choice for going down that route rather than normalized?
Well, it wasn't actually a choice. I just rammed my JSON object into my MySQL database. And that was basically it. And sometimes in client projects, we do that as well. But we extract the data that we need of that. Well, let me rephrase that. Sometimes in client projects, we do store JSON as well in our database, because that is mainly coming from sensors or Raspberry Pis or whatever. And that's a huge chunk of data that we need to store. So we store that into a JSON object, and we have the key values that we need extracted out of that into another database column, basically. And that's with a stored, how is it called? Oh, I can do that. I can say it 1,000 times. A stored value. And then we can actually extract that from a JSON object into a separate value. I'm not sure about the name, but I have multiple examples of that. So no, there wasn't actually a particular reason why, just because I use it from time to time. I could have done it with a flat table as well, like saying, hey, position X or position 6 or 7 is this card, and have separate rows for that in the database. But yeah, well, I stored it into a JSON object in my game, basically. Yeah. If it would ever go to production, I could reconsider that as well.
Yeah, and
Mm.
again, it's one of those things where at this point in time, it is literally a choice.
Yeah.
You can draw objects out of JSON in a database just as easily as you can a
Mm.
single field nowadays.
Yeah. Well, back in the day we couldn't. So I think it
Yeah.
was MySQL. No, it was MySQL 8. No, yeah, 8 that allowed JSON objects. Well, that
Yes.
was for me, especially for me, a game changer in data storing, because
Yeah.
we needed to store a huge amount of data coming from devices, like meter values, for example, or diagnostic stuff coming from hardware devices. That is a huge chunk of JSON that is coming in, and if we need to extract that and put that into separate values instead of storing just the one object and pushing it away. Yeah, that was a game changer for us, because we had thousands of those devices connected, and they were all sending out stuff every minute. So yeah, we needed some way to store that and deal with it later. So, and that's how I got into pushing JSON objects in databases and doing something with them when we have time for it or whenever we need it. Yeah.
That's a very busy database if you've got once a minute from
Yeah,
multiple
yeah,
systems. That
yeah, and it all works on MySQL. So yeah, we have considered other stuff as well, but for now it works, and we have a lot of devices connected to that, and well, yeah, it works. Yeah,
it's quite incredible to just think that MySQL, the oldest database system around, basically, is still able to handle that volume of data without breaking a sweat.
and also thanks to how Eloquent does the mass assigning stuff. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eloquent as an ORM does so much to help you.
Yeah, it does. But it's also keen to understand what it does under the hood. I've seen developers do stuff with Eloquent that I think like, you could do this differently, because they don't know what the impact is under the hood. But yeah, that's the when I graduated, we used JavaScript. Now they they use React, and they don't know what React is under the hood. So small things that they do have a huge impact on the nature of the language. And I think it's still very important to know that, and whether it's JavaScript or PHP or whatever, the base of the language is so important, and to understand what is happening under the hood, especially if you're talking about scale. Yeah, that's so important.
And scaling something isn't just about size of data. It's also the number of requests, the number of times you read. And I've dealt with apps where the database has been the biggest bottleneck because it's not been designed for the scale ability that it needed.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of storing, like for instance, if you would do a statistics page, and instead of calculating the amount of sales, I'm just thinking out loud right now, calculating the amount of sales and amount of objects that are purchased in the past 30 days. I like to generate that once, store it in a database every hour, for instance, or every 10 minutes instead. And then we have one record that needs to be pulled out instead of 1,000 records and calculated. So that's a small trade-off of doing a cron job or something like that, or a scheduled task, which is generating a statistic value and storing that in a database. So, and we can cache that as well, instead of needing to recalculate stuff over and over. And that is also something that we try to do for all our clients. And I can see juniors coming in and not understanding why we do that, until if I can say it like this, when shit hits the fan and requests come pouring in
Mhm.
really fast, and then you see the benefit of that.
Yeah.
So
I- Going back about 4 years ago, I was teaching a boot camp here in the UK with a company, and one of the things that I showed in one of the lessons was what happens if you do overload a database. So I created a database, and then I created a script that just did 1 million requests to the database. It was on a tiny little VPN deliberately to fail at 1 million. And it was like, oh, but that's terrible. What are we going to do? These were literally people that had never coded up until starting the boot camp.
Yeah.
So I just showed them the idea of, right, so the problem is we've got a lot of requests coming in for one piece of data. How about we put that in memory?
Mm.
And I showed them caching. And then, so what we've got over here, we've got a really bad request that's coming in, and it's drawing from that table and that table and that table. So let's start by optimizing that query a bit, or we could just save it as a value.
Yeah.
And showed them some of the key optimization techniques.
Yeah. There's
Mhm.
so many good things out there right now that we can do, like caching. I really like the. Did you guys ever hear of Varnish?
It vaguely rings a bell.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
Varnish caching is like a caching mechanism which allows caching to do on very, very big scale. A friend of mine works for Varnish software right now, and he explains it so good how it works under the hood. And if I need to teach juniors coming in or explain how caching works, I just show him one of his videos, and they're hooked right away. And it, release when stale and stuff like that, and how the flagging in caching works, and we can all tweak that in Varnish. So I would love to see a good implementation of Varnish in Laravel. I didn't have any case of that yet. Maybe we should do one if we have some time. But
Well, one of our colleagues has actually used Varnish on big projects.
yeah, he is. It's very good. Yeah.
I might have to have a proper look at it. It's literally one of those things where I think I've heard of it, but never had a need to use.
Yeah.
So we have one more pre-programmed question,
Okay.
and this one could take about an hour to answer.
Oh,
the game that you built, it is basically real-time collaborative application, but just hiding in disguise. What's the most unexpected thing you've built with that?
the most unexpected thing. Well, as I mentioned before, we have this thing with charging stations for electric vehicles where we have real-time monitoring of those. Basically, that is also WebSockets. So that is also real time. So whenever someone plugs in their charging cable, we can see that popping on a dashboard if their transaction is accepted, or if there is an error, we have a dashboarding tool that reports something is wrong. We need to send a technician over there, or even when a client of ours is charging with his charging RFID card in Scandinavia or in Portugal or whatever, we can see that instantly, and that is also just WebSockets and PHP, and that's it. So I think in that case of real-time web at the moment, that would be the most unexpected thing that we have built so far, because no one would think of PHP for that kind of scale of application in real time. So I think that covers a part of the question, I guess.
But
Yeah.
believe it or not, I probably wouldn't even have considered PHP to answer that question. We
Yeah.
need to do this multinational real-time data feed,
Mm.
and we need it to be showing on dashboards. Your first thought isn't PHP for that, which
No, at first we yeah, of course thought a JavaScript with
Mm.
Node and stuff like that. But at the time where you were tinkering around with a WebSocket for a Raspberry Pi, which was monitoring, I think it was raspberries that we were growing with a camera and stuff like that, and I needed to have a way to see that on a dashboard if something is watered or needs water, or how full is the tank of the water supply. And I did that at the time with a normal WebSocket thing with a PHP backend, and that allowed me to think out of the box and say, well, these charging stations, why not? Let's try it. And we tried that, and together with Bramus, who is now DevRel at Google, we we basically locked ourselves in a room for 3 days and had at it, and out came the product, very very first prototype of what we are still using today.
Nice.
interestingly, I think my first thought for an application like that would have been Go.
Oh yeah, I don't do Go. I never tried. Basically, I never tried Go. Yeah.
It's a very interesting language for PHP devs, because you can see how Go has been influenced by PHP and how PHP has been influenced by Go, and you end up with some similarities that you wouldn't expect, and then you end up with some complete differences. Like, you want to do a JSON? Oh no, you can't do that. You have to have structs first,
Yeah.
and you have to tell it what the JSON's going to look like. Have you seen APIs?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different types of APIs as well. No, but I think now that I think of it, we looked at Ruby on Rails as well to do the thing that we needed to do. But we ended up with PHP anyhow. So yeah,
But that just proves that it's able to do what even Ruby can. And
Yeah.
Ruby is one of those languages that honestly people underestimate as much as they do PHP.
Yeah. It's well, I didn't do any production applications in Ruby on Rails, but I tinkered around with it for like 3 years, creating my own projects and trying stuff. And I really enjoyed writing that as well. People are telling me, hey, you should look at Rust as well right now. It would be something for you. But it's on my to-do list, so I'm very eager to try that as well. But yeah, for now, PHP just works for me.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to go and look at other languages and see what's there. But
Yeah.
you often fall back to that first love, that one that really made the difference. For
Yeah.
you.
And trying out other stuff like opens up the possibility to learn other methods as well. I picked up a few things when I was trying Ruby on Rails, which I then implemented in my workflow for setting up my classes. So yeah, I learn whatever I try to do, I take away some pointers that I can use in PHP. So yeah.
I'm still looking for the excuse to find a pointer in assembly language that I can use in PHP. I write assembly language for fun.
I think assembly was back when I was doing university, and then I never touched that again. So it would.
That is
would
what
have
most
been-
people do with assembly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find it fun because I love the idea of literally knowing exactly where each bit is in memory.
Yeah.
The problem with that is I know exactly where each bit is in memory, and the program is about 55 million lines before it can print hello on screen.
But even adding one single line can mess up the whole thing.
Yeah.
In assembly, right? So yeah, it's I would need to look to the syntax again, but it's almost 16 years ago, I guess, or even more. Yeah. Anyway, I'm old.
This weekend for me, but
So
Yeah.
we're getting to sort of the time. Well, we've gone past the time we normally try and limit ourselves to, and there are a couple of other little questions I'd like to ask you, and
Yeah.
these are questions we ask most of our guests. The first one is, what is happening in the PHP world today, or has happened, that really excites you and really drives you to continue to use PHP?
Prism by TG Miller.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
I'm been tinkering around with AI pretty much daily right now, and the stuff that we also at Vulpo we build for clients right now. We get a lot of questions about AI. So, for example, my personal Strava helper, I also tweeted about that, I guess. Whenever I do a workout, it gets pulled in by the Strava API, nothing fancy about that. And then I use Prism to shoot that out to OpenAI and also to Cloud to see, hey, this is the workout that Bert did. You're a coach, by the way, and you're specialized in triathletes and blah, 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 and doing proper analysis and create the next workout that he should do. And if I don't follow the workout that he did propose to me, he is actually, complaining to me, saying, hey, you didn't do what I asked you to do. Prism allows me to, to create cool stuff with AI as well. Instead of using stuff like NA10 or something like that with a regular API call, I can now do that in my PHP projects as well.
Yeah.
Well, in my Laravel projects. And that is something that will be, in my opinion, change the game for the coming 3 years.
Yeah. Well, TJ's like a friend of architects, and he will be on this show with us on the 25th of November. So
Okay, cool.
that we're really looking forward to having that conversation. And
Yeah.
that is certainly something that excites both me and Chris, is the ability to bring AI into our applications. And I've got some plans of things that I want. I'm building up to using. So I've got some ideas to use Prism. So I'm really looking forward to getting to the point where I start using it. I've just got a few more foundations to laying that out before I get to pull that in.
To be completely honest, I was skeptical about AI for a long time.
I was, yeah.
Yeah. I even did not use Copilot and autocomplete stuff like that. I didn't use that until Laracon EU last year, where Diana of Beyond Code convinced me to try it. And well, that unlocked a whole thing for me. The auto completion stuff, I couldn't survive anymore without it at the moment. So, but I do hope that AI doesn't kill our own brains. I see a lot of vibe coding stuff going wrong, and yeah, it would be a shame to see that all the stuff that AI is building for us goes to production without overseeing it. I see a lot of stuff going on, especially with junior developers. They basically just prompt right now, and they don't know. And the other day, someone asked me, "Hey, can you look at this here? I have some issue." And I asked him, "How did you come about this idea?" And he literally said, "I don't know. AI did that."
Yeah, we had a very long and interesting conversation to do with AI. It comes up on almost every show, but we had on episode 4. I'm just looking at episode 4. We had Ashley Hindle from Laravel. We were talk. We've obviously brought him on to talk about Boost, but we did a lot of talking about AI, and and our views on how to use it effectively in our
Mhm.
work. Is it really taking over a developer's job? It certainly seems to be creating jobs in the industry for
Yeah.
vibe coder fixers, whatever.
So
Yeah.
we've actually evolved now from vibe code fixers. We now have 3 different people that are working around vibe coding. We have vibe coders who are professional vibe coders now. We
I
have
know where you're going now.
we have professional vibe code fixers, and then we have people who run webinars about how to be a professional vibe coder.
Awesome.
It's yeah.
I'm a bit afraid of how the industry will evolve basically around all the AI stuff. But yeah, if we stay true to our to the stuff
Yeah.
that we build and the passion that we have for it. And to be honest, I also use it to say, hey, I have
Right.
this and this and this. Create a CRUD controller for me, and then it must do this and this and this. It creates that, and then I go check what he did and then correct that in my kind of way that I want it. So yeah, sometimes he is writing awful stuff.
So before we started talking, we asked the question, are we going to see the comments on your channels? Answer, yes, we are.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that's come over from your YouTube channel.
Is it now?
Yes. Yeah, we can see
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that
So
works.
for
Cool.
anyone that doesn't realize what we're talking about now, we're experimental. We've never done this before, but Bert has paired and he is streaming this to all his channels as well. It's going to all our channels. So we're doing this for the first time. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's a comment come from your YouTube channel there.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. And I tend to agree. Refresh your skills and do it without AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm trying to get my at Vilpo my team on board with no AI days. So that we don't touch any AI stuff during a certain day, but it didn't happen until now, unfortunately.
I've sort of evolved the way that I'm using AI, and I've gone through companies where it's been enforced that thou shalt write 70% of thy code with AI. And I've been in companies where it's thou shalt not write anything with AI. And now I've landed here where AI isn't a bad thing, but is also not the be all and end all. And I've sort of evolved the way that I'm using it is I've got open code running. I've got a llama in the background running Kimmy on 1 trillion. And by using those, Kimmy has the knowledge of my code base to answer questions about the code, but I don't let it code for me.
Yeah.
And a 1 trillion model is scary. Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah.
Honestly, I actually think Kimmy might be marginally better than Claude at code, which is
I'm using Claude right now, and to be honest, I'm really impressed how good it is. If you prompt it specifically to do just one single task. If you ask it to create, if you give him a too big task, it will fail tremendously. But if you can, like, hey, I have this service class over here, I want to do blah yada yada with it, and make sure you use as a reference another repository where I created the same thing. In that case, he is quite good at what he does.
Yeah. And Claude is genuinely brilliant at understanding code and presenting code.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that gives Kimmy the edge is the context window. So it's got a context window that's about 20% bigger than Claude's. So it can hold in memory more than Claude can. Now, combine that with Laravel Boost, and you end up with a ridiculously powerful AI. And it will answer questions in ways that I will say, you know, what will happen if I add this, and it will tell me about a side effect 15 classes deep.
Mhm.
And it's like, that's incredible. It understands it well enough to know that these are all linked through this pathway and it's going to break over here.
Yeah. Well, I don't tell this to Henley, but I didn't use Boost until now, and I'm planning to use it like next week on a project that a hobby project, to just get my feet wet in it, because I'm piled up into work all over the place right now, so I didn't have any time for that. But I'm really eager to learn how everything works with that as well. So, if you have any pointers, do send me an email.
It's easy. It is so
genuinely is.
easy.
Yeah.
Just to install it and then just away you go.
Yeah.
I'm using it on personal projects at the moment, so I've got it on 2 projects. I'm using Claude with alongside it, and it is just so easy. I mean, Claude isn't perfect. I'll get it. It's like, as I say, there was one project I did. I put in the feature, and I knew it was going to be mainly JavaScript because I was pulling in a JavaScript library to handle a lot of logic, and I thought that's not something I could. It would take me months to write this. So I thought I'll give Claude a go and see how well it does, and it doesn't work first time. There are times when I was just getting frustrated with it. It's like, right, you're telling me you fixed it, but you haven't. It's still doing the same thing. So it takes it, so it doesn't get it right first time. I have no idea what sort of quality of code it is. So I will get someone to look it over before I ever actually put it anywhere public, just to check that it's nothing crazy.
Yeah. I did the same thing, by the way. With my very first package, I had Freek look it over, and after 1 hour, he had like 20 commits. So yeah, having someone looking over the things that you did is also very nice.
Yeah. And somebody that can be, for want of a better word, harsh, but you know that it's for the benefit of the end result. And some of the best code reviews I've ever had have been like, this is terrible, here's how to fix it.
Yeah.
And one guy that I worked with, Alex at Jump 24, some of the code reviews he gave me were like 20, 30, 40 comments on the code of make sure that we're doing this, do this, do this, do this. And it's like, at this point, would it not have been quicker for you to write it? And the answer is yes, but now I know how to write it.
That sounds familiar.
I don't know what you could possibly mean, Mike. You asked for the review.
Anyway, we are now starting to run long. So I don't want to keep you too long. But so I just want to say thank you very much for giving up your time to chat to us. It's been a fascinating chat. I'll just go through a couple of things. Where's my notes? I've lost my notes. Here we go. So anyone that's not in our Discord channel, please do pop over into our Discord channel. There are great developers, and all sorts hanging out in there all week long. We can have questions asked, just have general conversations. So yeah, do jump over there. But that would be great. If you're on our YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. If you're not, you can pop over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel. You'll get notifications. We've got on our channel, we've got 3 different shows. We've got us, we've got the main show with Eric and John on a Thursday, and there's also Community Corner with Scott. My YouTube magazine, we produce a monthly magazine, and we have a discount code there for you on the screen, Alive3, and that will give you the first 3 months of a year subscription for free. So yeah, that's a digital subscription. Sorry, I forgot to say that earlier, didn't I? It's a digital one.
No, you said it earlier.
Did I? Okay. I tend to forget to tell people it's a digital one, and I get told off. So that's a digital subscription. It's PHP Architect, all sorts of articles to do with PHP and surrounding tech that we use within our industry. Some great stuff in there, and Chris is one of our main contributors there. If you want to write for the magazine, get in touch. We do pay for people to write articles, so please do get in touch. And I'll tell you what would be a really interesting article is how you came to build this game. That'd be quite an interesting one.
How to write a real-time game in Laravel would be a brilliant feature article for.
Well, I was actually planning to write that for my blog, so maybe I would write it for yours.
That would be wonderful. Yeah,
if you write it for our magazine, we'll pay you for it. We'll...
Awesome.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we pay for the articles. I can't remember how much it is or whether it's publicly known.
It's $175 for 2,500 words or more.
Okay, that's triple of what I make on YouTube.
There you go then. We'll get it down, get it sent over to Eric or John, or reach out to one of us, and we'll get you in contact with the right people. Moving on, tech, PHP Tech 2026. I had to think of the year then. Is happening. Get your tickets. It'll be lovely to see people over there. It's one of the nicest tech conferences, PHP conferences I've ever attended myself. And I know I'm a bit biased, but I've found it's one of those environments where there are no cliques, and I mean you'll sit down, you're sitting chatting to someone, and the next thing you know, it's Ben Ramsey you're chatting to, or Sarah from internals, and you're just chatting away, and you're like, what?
You go out for sushi with TJ and Daniel that wrote Reaver, that wrote verbs.
Yeah. So do join us. Get some tickets and join us. Alongside that, there is now JS Tech, which you can now submit talks to. How long, Chris? Do you know how long that's open for? When does that close?
So at the moment, it's open for a month from the episode of the podcast. So ever so slightly less than a month.
Yes. So is that just the end of November?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So we think it's end of November. If you go to sessionize.com/JS-Tech-2026, and it will have the closing date on there. Head over to our swag store as well and check out the merch you can get. Some great t-shirts and mugs and so on, and all those sorts of things. That is everything from us. Once again, Bert, thank you very much for giving us your time today. There is Bert's YouTube channel, so do head over, subscribe to him. He's putting out some really cool content.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for having me. That's absolutely no problem at all. Right, everyone. Oh, hang on. I've got to cue this up because I've not got the right screen open. Where is it? There it is. Right. Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.